Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. First of all, Australia have completed a clean sweep of the T20 series against Pakistan. They have just defeated us in the third T20 international as well. Obviously, I think it's been a disappointing T20 series, although the one days were a cracker. But I think it opens up a big debate for Pakistan now. Although I'm happy that we were able to hand out a couple of debuts. I loved seeing Sufyan Mukim. I also loved the fact that Jandad debuted for Pakistan today as well. But the fact is that we need to really understand that white ball cricket as a terminology, one day and T20 are two separate things now. So you can be technically sound player and play the one days in test cricket, which carry a bit of similarity as far as the number of overs are concerned, 50 overs, 80 overs a day. So you can put that in another canvas. But when it comes to T20 cricket, Pakistan really must now look beyond the traditional canvas that we have. So we're going to be discussing this in detail. Modern day cricket is evolving. You need specialists, you need the right kind of bowlers, power hitters for T20 cricket. Unfortunately, we're stuck in a conundrum where we don't have any of these, or if we do, we're failing to recognize them as well. So we discuss that in detail. Then of course we move on and we discuss some more particular things on the show as well. We discuss India's marvelous victory against South Africa in the series. They've been exceptional. If you talk about their T20 campaign, they're developing players, everything is working for them, and win or lose is a separate subject. But right now, the trajectory and the brand of cricket seems to be on the right track for them as well. So we discuss the performances of Sanju Samson, Tilak Verma, Sky as a skipper as well. So we'll talk about that in detail as well. Then of course we move on and we give you some more updates surrounding the world of cricket, and obviously we tell you about the women's central contracts that have been announced as well by the Pakistan Cricket Board. We discuss them in detail. Then of course we move on, the big news from the Pakistan Cricket Board, as Aqib Javed has been appointed as the interim white ball coach for Pakistan. It's a new era that's going to start, but what is with us and this word interim? I mean, you either appoint someone a coach or you don't. So I don't understand this interim terminology or the rhetoric that we're trying to promote over here. But then again, I think one needs to understand how much time will he be given to function as a coach as well. That's also important to understand. Time now to introduce our guest. First of all, joining us in studios is cricket commentator, international broadcaster, presenter, and our sports expert, K. Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, Asif. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm very well.
Thank you for joining us. We've also been joined by fellow anchor and expert Saeed Mohammad Awais. Assalamu alaikum, Awais. How are you?
I'm good. Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining us. And we've also been joined by a cricket expert and a cricket writer as well, an aspiring journalist, Amal Nadeem, who joins us. Assalamu alaikum, Amal. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for joining us as well. Now let's take a look at this report between Pakistan and Australia, and then we continue.
3-0, convincing win led tonight by Marcus Stoinis.
Australia completed a dominant 7-wicket victory over Pakistan in the third, sweeping the three-match series by 3-0. Chasing a modest target of 118 runs, Australia reached the target easily in just 12 overs, losing 3 wickets along the way. With openers Fraser McGurk and Matthew Shaw departing early, captain Josh Inglis made 27 and Marcus Stoinis remained unbeaten with 67 runs. Stoinis, who have hit 5 sixes, guided Australia to win with a blistering knock, while Pakistan's bowler could only manage 1 wicket each through Shaheen Shah Afridi, Jandad Khan and Abbas Afridi. Earlier, Pakistan opting to bat first were bundled out for just 117 runs. Babar Azam top scored with 41, but key wickets fell regularly as Australia's bowlers, led by Aaron Hardy, picked 3. Adam Zampa and Spencer Johnson took 2 wickets apiece, with Nathan Ellis and Bartlett chipping in as well, securing a comprehensive victory for the hosts.
And there you have it, all the details by Sabah of this T20 encounter. Asif, what would you like to add about the T20 campaign for Pakistan?
Well, I think disappointment, but some positives. Let's discuss some positive. That is, Rizwan being skipper was very well with his decisions, and especially when you're not playing and not participating in the last game, when everyone knows that the result is 2-0 Pakistan and Australia have won the series already. So given a chance to a youngster, Hasibullah, I think it's a phenomenal thing. And that was missing. This intent was missing in Pakistan cricket for a long time. So well done, Rizwan, as a skipper. And now talk about that where Pakistan was lacking. I think that in last 2-3 games, if collectively I talk about the ODIs and T20s, your batting wasn't tested actually. Abdullah and Saim, they have played so well in ODIs, and then of course 7 overs game of the first game, and the second game was there your batting was struggling because they didn't get a chance. The big concern for me is Babar Azam. Babar Azam, why? Because once again you were so good, you were absolutely perfect, and Pakistan lost 5 wickets. You were still there. Would have to finish. You'd have to play at least till the end, and you'd have to make 40, 50 odd runs for Pakistan. This is really disappointing for me because Pakistan lost against USA. Babar Azam made 44. Now in Australia, Babar Azam was struggling. In ODIs, Babar Azam struggles in T20 as well. His 40 runs, everyone is talking about that he had played his role. I think no, it's not enough. You have to play till the end. And as in your intro, you were talking about that we should require some T20 specialist. I think, Ahmed, why don't we talk about that? We got a couple of good youngsters like Niazi, like Jahandad Khan, Hasibullah,
Sufyan Mukim.
Sufyan Mukim. Give them some. I'm talking about the batters.
Okay.
So
right.
yeah. So give them some time. Hasibullah, he was promising. I like his batting style. I like his energy. The only problem was with the Pakistani batters. That was the short selection. See, your idea, that when you're hitting with the power, you miss time. You misjudge the
I
ball.
think it was too dedicated to the onside. Hasib plays brilliantly through the extra cover regions as well. But I think he was just in that shell, obviously. You've not given him enough game time immediately in Australia. It's very, very difficult for a youngster. You really got to feel at that. But we're going to come to that debate of, developing these youngsters and what kind of mindset you need to give to them as well. That's very important, the way you define the trajectory for them. Awais, how would you analyze this T20 series in a nutshell?
It was a disaster for me because, if you just see the thing, if I talk about Pakistan, one time they're literally high ups, and the second time, if you just feel so, you literally disappoint. The way Pakistan performed in the T20, the biggest issue for me regarding before the tournament started on Ahmed Bhai, because I was discussing with you, it was a batting strike rate, and it literally was shown in this Australia series. Before this match, the Pakistan team was the only team which never scored a single boundary in 9 overs. That's the strike rate problem what we have been facing on. We play more dot deliveries, which actually creates more pressure on your middle order. The middle order issue, what you see is that you don't have a player who can actually bat at the average of, who can just strike the ball, who can strike at 100, 120 runs per 120. You don't have that kind of players, 140. So you need to find that players. The best thing what we do is that we can just implement that in the domestic structure. The problem what I face, we are facing in the domestic structure is that we are more keen focused on, after winning the England series, that you should have some spinning tracks over here. See, Test cricket is something else. When you talk about the shorter format like T20, you need to have more dynamic kind of players who can actually meet that kind of strike rates. So you make more friendly wickets over here. But unfortunately, that is not done. I was going through Mazhar Arshad, and he wrote a brilliant thing saying that you could have implemented in your domestic structure like high strike rate cap for in the Pakistan Super League. In the domestic structure, you can just maintain that kind of thing. So at least you can get more players intact.
My question is, where are your AI softwares now when you talk about these entire numbers that we're talking about?
See, your AI softwares are in the pocket, because obviously, once listen, it's clear. Remember, we won against England. Everyone was talking about one thing, that it's Akib Ball. When you went to Australia, when you are the head coach, it was the best thing. Akib Bhai could have been a head coach of Pakistan in Australia. So you could have actually know how to just gather the players and just get suited to it. But you're going to the Zimbabwe series where it's an easy series. Obviously, Pakistan will win it, and you will forget what happened in Australia. So that's the thing I'm saying on you. Your team really needs to work on it. What mistakes we have done. When you talk about a strike rate batsman, where is Saim Ayub? You have always been saying one thing, that he's a T20 batsman, T20 specialist. Where's Fakhar Zaman? Where's Haris? I know many of them don't rate Haris, but again, he's a kind of a batsman who has got.
We're going to come back to those names and this strike rate saga as well. But Amal, how would you analyze this T20 series? There was a lot of hype about Pakistan after they performed in the one-day series. Winning that 2-1 is something surprising for Pakistan to do in Australia. But immediately when it comes to T20 cricket, I think we're stuck in the same conundrum that we have been before.
Ahmed, I believe that the issue is that we overly depend on our bowlers. Even the last ODI series, there's no harm in saying that we won the series entirely based on the performance given by our bowlers. Our batters are yet to understand the modern day cricket. when teams like India and other big names are crossing 200 in a single innings, we are yet struggling to cross 150 or 160. Our the importance of power play. The last time, even when we were chasing 148, we were pathetic in the power play. We lost our wickets. We could not perform well. So our batsmen need to build up that stamina where they at least utilize that power play from at least 9 to 10 run rate per over, so that they can give a good target. Even when our bowlers are defending, they need to have a good target to defend, and even when they play their part, they give you a low target. You need to back up and bat well. So the issue right now for me is mostly with our batters.
Well, Amal, how would you analyze the prospect? Because we keep on talking about that modern T20 cricket is evolving. Look at Fraser McGurk or Short, even English for that fact as well. Maxwell is the prime example where Australia considered him to be a player who's going to win probably 2 out of 10 games, but do it single-handedly, and they invested. And had he been in Pakistan, I often say he would have been discarded in coaching somewhere in a club level. But the fact is that modern day T20 cricket is something that now needs to be treated as a separate subject, because the fact is that we keep on doing these chops and changes. Then once we find an impact player, we start treating him in the average scenario where T20 doesn't, I think, consider those averages.
Of course, when you're playing test cricket, you need to save your wicket. When you are in T20 cricket, if you're scoring 30, let's say, on 15 balls and you get out, that's fine. But if you are on crease and you have scored 44 on 45 balls, that's of no use. Last time also, I remember when Rizwan played, he lost so many balls just because he was playing he was trying to build himself on the crease. That's not required. When you are playing T20 cricket, you cannot take balls to settle yourself on the crease. That's what we do. We try to save our wickets. If by 20 overs we are 9 down, but at least we are scoring 170, that's again good than being on 130 just 2 wickets down. So when you are playing for T20 cricket, go for big shots, go for strong intent where when your wicket does not matter but the number of runs you score do.
Well, let's just take a look at this report of India's victory over South Africa, because I really want to have a bit of debate about the trajectory and the way forward for T20 cricket, at least for our part of the world. Let's take a look at that report and then we continue.
India beat South Africa by 135 runs in the fourth and final T20 international to clinch series by 3-1. Opting to bat, India posted a massive 283 runs for the loss of only 1 wicket, thanks to unbeaten centuries from Tilak Verma and Sanju Samson, and then bowled out South Africa for 148 in 19th over. Tristan Stubbs top scored for South Africa with 46, while Miller contributed 36 runs. For India, pacer Arshdeep Singh was the most successful bowler with figures of 3, while Varun and Akshar Patel got 2 wickets each. Hardik Pandya, Ramandeep Singh and Ravi got 1 wicket each. This win was India's 18th against South Africa in 31 T20 internationals. The men in blue thus go past Australia, who had won 17 in 25 games. Tilak Verma with 280 and Sanju Samson with 216 runs emerged as highest run getters in the series. In bowling, Varun led the chart with 12 wickets. Tilak Verma declared player of the series.
And there you have it. Obviously, they've won the series 2-1 convincingly, and Tilak Verma has just been special. Asif, what would you like to add? Obviously, it was a very important series for India, and of course, they moved on with Sky as the makeshift skipper as well.
A little filler about my colleague. He was talking about Fakhar Zaman, and he was asking that where is he? I think that it's a very innocent question from a man, and we don't know where is he, by the way, what he has done so far with the bat. Now he has taken the name of Saim Ayub, that he was the specialist, so-called specialist for T20 cricket. One shot, that was no-look shot. He didn't perform well. What his stats are actually. And dear, when you talk about players like Saim Ayub and Fakhar Zaman, please see the history and then talk about. The second thing is...
What does it mean, players like Saim Ayub and Fakhar Zaman?
It means that if you are telling me that they're really important for T20 cricket, then see their record.
No, I'm just asking you, do they deserve to play for Pakistan? No, I'm going to come to that, Avais.
Yeah.
Do they deserve to play for Pakistan, Asif? Simple question.
Very simple question. The way if someone is performing well in domestic cricket, you will bring him in the national side. If you're bringing him through PSL, through T20, they won't perform well. This is what happens, and this is what is happening with the Pakistan cricket. And why I was, you know that I was a big supporter of Saim Ayub, because I like him because of his technique. In one day, he has proved himself. In T20 cricket, whatsoever the Azhar Mahmood or the other coaches, when they taught him one shot, that is no look shot, and that was the destruction of Saim Ayub.
And I think equally social media
had
a lot to do with that as well. But Asif, then the question arises, do you believe in the rhetoric of having specialists for T20 cricket? Do we have a special different squad for T20 cricket?
Ahmed, you were talking about Tilak Verma and Sanju Samson. Let's talk about their first class career. Tilak Verma, 22 years of age, 20 first class games.
18 first class.
20 first class games lately. Okay. Sanju Samson, more than 65 first class games. So this is the problem with the Pakistan cricket, and this is the difference between.
For me, Sanju Samson should have debuted a year back, but obviously India was
his
still
father is
investing in him, yes?
what his father is talking about, that the 4 players, he has taken 4 big names: Rahul Dravid, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. He said that they have destroyed the 10 years of my son's career. It's a very, very important. But I think when Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli is in T20, how could you drop them? Very simple question. I'm talking about that the Saim Ayub or the other players, they didn't play that much first class cricket, and that's why when they come to international cricket, they used to flop. Jahandad Khan, Arafat Minhas, these Sufyan Muqim, even Sufyan Muqim and Arafat Minhas, they even didn't play a single first class game. All right, but even then we are supporting them because they're the youngsters. The specialist, the idea that is only for few countries.
I just concluded. So Asif is trying to say, what Asif obviously means is that once again, that focus on domestic cricket.
That's it.
That is obviously for Pakistan, it's Qaid-e-Azam Trophy. So we talk about that. But I personally would like to say that for T20 cricket, I think that scenario should be eliminated now.
One last thing,
yes.
then please allow me.
Yes,
if
please.
a batter like Usman Khan, who is not good with the technique, where would he work? In T20 cricket? I think that either you're playing T20 cricket, it's ODI.
No, Usman is not even suited for T20 cricket. Simple as that.
But he's playing for Pakistan.
No, that is a big question.
He is playing for Pakistan. If even it's a big question, I'm saying.
I was telling Awais today that this was a 6 in UAE. Unfortunately, he got out, caught, but this was a 6 in UAE. But Awais, like I said, I mean, just look at India's campaign. Look at Tilak Verma. Look at Sanju Samson. The way Sky has led his troops, the new era as a T20 skipper. How would you analyze that?
See, there are 2 things. If you just watch out Tilak Verma, because he was recently in the Asia Under-23 tournament, which was held in Oman. That team typically plays more T20. They have got some separate teams, if you just remember on. If you have more teams, they're playing more T20 around the globe. The India A, I would say, they have 2 teams even for India A. They're more considered for the India T20 squad. There's a totally different squad as compared to one-day and test cricket. The biggest issue what we have, Asif is right, I would obviously second him, but when Saim Ayub came for the Pakistan team, we opted him as a T20 player. You got him into the Pakistan PSL side. He played for Peshawar Zalmi. If you remember, he was more. Everyone started talking about him that yes, he'll be the next T20 campaign for you, because that's the point. Under 19, after under 19, you opted for the Pakistan Super League. You didn't play Pakistan Shines because there was no Pakistan Shines at that time. There were no tours going on. When you play Pakistan Super League, the thing which is fed up in your mind is that you're a T20 specialist, you have to focus more on T20, play aggressive cricket.
But just give me a yes or no, Awais. For T20 cricket, Qaid-e-Azam Trophy, mandatory or not mandatory? Simple.
See, for T20 it's not. Why? Because longer format is mandatory for test cricket and ODI cricket, I would say. For T20, you need to be more aggressively approached.
If I come across a great under-19 talent, which I think can make an impact in 120 deliveries, why should I wait for him to play 20 first-class games? I think that rhetoric now is changing.
Experience does matter you, but the biggest
Can you
issue
guys
is
give me an example from last 3-4 years? Either Pakistan got a player like that?
No.
Do you have an example?
No.
Then what's the
Because you
reason?
didn't invest.
We
invested a lot.
Who did you invest in? You invested in Fahim Ashraf. You brought Usman from an unknown structure, right? Irfan Niazi has just come onto the scene. We wasted prime years of Haider Ali. Saim was
What happened to the
test format?
Ahmed bhai,
Afat Minas, not obviously in the developing stage right now. I mean, I can go on and on the list, but Amal, what's your overall analysis of India's victory, and how would you obviously compare it with the fact that T20 now requires impact players around the world?
No, I was laughing with one of my friends that I don't even remember when was the last time we scored 280 even in an ODI match, and they scored it in a T20 match. But I thoroughly enjoyed India's batting. 23 sixes in one match is something insane. And of course, like I said earlier as well, that modern day cricket, our batters, they still lack to understand this phenomena. Even during these last qualifiers for the World Cup, teams like Zimbabwe, they scored 300 plus in a T20 match. So this is the intact which players and teams are having moving forward in the future. Back in 2009 or 2010, we could have said that 150 or 160 is a good enough score to put pressure on your bowlers. Now it's not. And just in the future, there will be times that, like anything lower than 200 might be a problem. So right now our bowlers, our batters really need to, build that stamina and go for big runs.
Well, I think that is obviously the need of the hour as well. But, the rapid change of T20 cricket is something that surprises me often. I understand we're far away from the Australian model of cricket as well. And obviously, our region is different, our dynamics are different. Our cricket culture is different in this part of the world. But, if you look at examples like Fraser McGurk or Short and, Inglis himself as well, they come with a plan. And I agree with Asif where he said that had Sharma and Kohli not said goodbye to T20 cricket, we would have probably never seen Tilak Verma and Sanju Samson as well. So I think it makes a real difference that we decide right now that we need to stop celebrating somebody saying that he's got experience of 100 T20 internationals. No, we don't need that experience. We need an impact player. But that being said, a very important subject in Pakistan cricket that has been continuously ignored, and I was saying it on another platform today as well, that whenever you want to talk about something regarding women's cricket in Pakistan, the men's cricket team loses and all the attention goes there. So unfortunate that we don't get to talk about it, but central contracts have been announced for women cricketers. Let's take a look at this report.
Pakistan Cricket Board has announced its central contracts for women's cricketers for the 2024 to 2025 international season, effective from July 1st. This follows an annual performance review, with the contracts being reassessed after the 2023 to 2024 season. The number of contracts has decreased from 20 to 16 as the PCB looks to focus on younger players. Pakistan's captain Fatma Sana and wicketkeeper batter Muniba Ali have been promoted to Category A, while left-arm spinner Sadia Iqbal has been moved to Category B. Three new players, Gul Feroza, Ramin Shamim and Tasmia Rubab, have earned contracts, with Tasmia receiving her first ever contract. Ramin and Gul have returned after a gap, with Ramin being absent since 2018 and Gul since 2022 to 2023. On the other hand, the contracts of Alia Riaz, Anusha Nasser, Iman Fatma, Nida Dar, Shawal Zulfikar and Sitra Nawaz were not renewed for the upcoming season, although they will remain available for selection. The PCB is prioritizing the development of young talent to align with the ICC Women's Future Tours program 2025 to 2029.
Well, there you have it, women's cricket, all the details in this report. The central contracts have been announced. K. Asif, I think it's a very important subject, women's cricket. Unfortunately, we've not had the right performances. We've not increased that pool of players as well. And I think it's another unfortunate scenario right now that there is not enough focus on women's cricket in Pakistan.
Well, I think nowadays Pakistan Cricket Board is doing something special for women cricket as well. But one thing is, Ahmed, I was just checking and I was searching where is Nida Dar. So Nida Dar is missing in central contract. It's a big news for me.
No Alia Riaz as well. Yes.
No Alia Riaz, and now people are writing about them on Twitter and Facebook as well. But I think it's a very good gesture that now you brought some young blood, and Fatma Sana once again leading from the front. Fatma Sana is a very, very talented player, and she's been performing so well for Pakistan from last couple of years, and you guys have promoted him as a skipper. I think something was going on between among the team, because I have heard that stories, you guys heard that what happened to Alia Riaz and Nida Dar, and they were not ready to play under the captaincy of Fatma Sana.
Let's ask this question from Awais. He keeps on asking us where Fakhar Zaman is. Awais, what happened with Alia Riaz and Nida Dar?
See, I mean, one thing, it's good that you guys are promoting your youngsters, but on the second hand, they deserved a contract for once. Because if you just watch, if you talk about the pool of cricket of specifically women's, you don't have much over here. Under 19 Asia Cup coming up, the team had to be decided 6 months back. I remember the coach, one of the coach of the Pakistan women's team, he was speaking to me and he said, still no one knows who will be the coach and who will be what the team will be for Asia Cup, because we don't have any backup plan over here. The problem what we face is that just on the men's cricket, in women's cricket, is that your seniors, they don't get much respected. Well, once I know they're on the declining stage, it's a you can say it's the way how you just set them back or tell them that goodbye, it's enough for cricket now, you guys have given your services, we don't need your services. But it's just in the fraction of time a player is in the domestic structure and you announce the contracts and she has no name in it. That creates more differences in the Pakistan team. Getting Fatma Sana as a captain was the best choice by the Pakistan Cricket Board, because she has been consistently performing well. If you remember, Ahmed bhai, in New Zealand, when Nida Dar was hit on her face, Fatma Sana captain, and we won that series. I mean, she was brilliantly in that series. But again, I would say, as for the seniors, they really need to be respected. If I talk about Alia Riaz, I have been more critical about Alia Riaz that she wasn't consistent performer, but she has performed really well. If you talk about Nida Dar, the biggest issue what I see is that she has been fluctuated a lot in the batting order, that her batting order is still not stable. She does not know where to bat on. I'm a finisher or I'm there to play a defensive kind of role for Pakistan team. So the seniors, they really need to be, they really need to get that thing. But the biggest issue for me, for Pakistan women's, is that you don't have backup team for you. You just talk about domestic, you got just one domestic structure whole year where they perform. Iman Fatma has been doing a superb job for Pakistan domestic, but the issue is that after that, where does she go? She just has the other World T20 coming up for women's. I mean, she would be preparing for that, but you don't have the league cricket for women's. You don't have much league matches for the under 19. You don't have league matches for women's. I mean, that's the point. You don't get more a pool of cricketers coming up. So again, I would say it's a good decision, but you really need to respect your seniors. That thing was not good by the Pakistan Cricket Board, women's wing specifically.
Well, certainly. Amal, what would you like to add? Now we've got central contracts as well as two experienced stalwart players have been left out. What is the future for Pakistan women's cricket?
Ahmed, I was also quite surprised to not see especially Nida Dar in the contract list, because she's an ex-captain. She also performed average when we talk about her performance in the World Cup with ball and with bat as well. So, like just letting her out of the contract list completely is not a justified answer. And I would like to second what Awais said, that your seniors always have that respect, especially when you are going forward with only like young Lord. There has to be someone like Nida Dar or Alia Riaz, not entirely Alia because she did not perform very consistently in the last few months, but Nida Dar, I feel like she should have been given the chance, because Fatma's captaincy was above average, because the way she set the field, the way she managed the bowlers, giving tough time to India and Sri Lanka with low totals is a difficult thing to do. So in that sense, promoting her to category A was a good decision, but I feel like that senior players like Nida Dar should have been included in the list.
Well, certainly, but it's a bit of a secondary subject, Amal. It always has been in Pakistan. Would you agree that there needs to be even more focus on women's cricket? It needs to really step up, even if it means treating it like a special or separate division in Pakistan Cricket Board.
Of course, Ahmed, because we always focus more on men domestic cricket. I said this thing earlier as well, that going for women PSL is a big shot, because you don't have those finances, but you can still focus on camps, on one of my friends, they are in Comsat, so there is there's regular camps for men to come and show their talent, so they can do the same for girls as well. In colleges, in school and universities, there are girls who are willing to play cricket, but they don't know where to apply, where to go. So when you are carrying your bats and you're going to universities to get talents from male cricket, for male cricket you need to do the same for female cricket team as well. So start small. We're not saying to go big and make drastic changes on higher levels, but start from somewhere, so we can have good female cricketers as well.
Well, certainly. I think this is a subject that is very, very important for Pakistan's future, and the prospect that women's cricket needs to be taken very, very seriously. I think the time has long gone now. The evolution of cricket is one subject, but the evolution of women's cricket is on a tremendous scale at the moment, and we're standing very, very behind when it comes to the Committee of Women Cricketing Nations as well. I mean, some are playing test, and if you can't get test status on the international level, at least move to your own 2 days and 3 day formats as well to at least develop players and increase your pool of players, have frequent tournaments and not just have them, market them and obviously televise them on a large scale as well. That's very, very important for that case as well. But obviously we come to the most important subject right now in Pakistan cricket, and that is that Aqib Javed has been appointed as the interim white ball coach now for Pakistan. Asif, how do you see this development, and what is our obsession with the word interim and the way we move forward?
Word interim, I think Awais will throw light over this word, and he's familiar with this word as well because he has worked with Lahore Qalandars and other franchises as well. Aqib Javed, well, I think in Zimbabwe series, upcoming series, and the news is coming that Jason Gillespie might resign from the red ball cricket as well. This is what I have heard. I think these things are not good because right before the Champions Trophy, Gary Kristen, he has resigned. Then you have appointed interim white ball coach for Australia series, and now you have another interim coach for the Zimbabwe and South Africa series, Zimbabwe series basically. And Aqib Javed, he has worked a lot. Recently was working with Team Sri Lanka as a head coach, but he was once again, that was on the temporarily basis. Once again here, he was their bowling coach, and then he was the selection committee, the senior member of the selection committee of Pakistan. So holding two designations, it happened in past as well, where Misbah-ul Haq, he was the chief selector and the head coach, and now Aqib Javed, the senior selection, the member of the senior selection committee, and then of course the head coach. So I think it's not a good idea. You should have different personalities for the different positions. You have plenty of talent in Pakistan, you have plenty of senior players, you have plenty of legends. Why you don't bring Shoaib Akhtar, why you don't bring other senior players? I think this question should be answered by you and by Awais.
Right. Awais, what do you think of this strategy now, Aqib Javed? But like I said, the question is why interim? Why not, make it permanent?
Asif wants my phone to ring from PC. I think the tough question is thrown to me. Even I'm a little bit confused, Ahmed. When you talk about the interim coach, that means on his services, your coach has left you or he's busy somewhere, so you just have that terminology interim for 2 or 3 matches. If you want him to be a head coach of Pakistan, straight away say yes, he's a head coach of Pakistan till the Champions Trophy. So everyone can understand that interim coach is a philosophy which does not literally, it's not understandable for me. I wanted Aqib to be the coach of Pakistan T20. If he's in that circuit, he could have been for the Australia series. Why? Because you could have judged your players very well. Fine, even if he lost, that's something else. But you could have judged your players very well and you could have moved on to Zimbabwe. So you can work on the weaknesses of your Pakistani players. If you go through Aqib Javed's head coach as a tenure, he has been a brilliant fast bowler. He has been a brilliant mind. But if you remember, he once was the coach of Pakistan team. If I'm not wrong, it was against Australia, New Zealand back in Dubai Sports City, where Pakistan did win that series. I don't probably remember it. But if you talk about his experience as a head coach for a franchise, remember consistently they had been failing on. They just won 2 tournaments. So it won't be that, I would say, when he comes up, just a fraction of time and Aqib Javed would change whole scenario of the Pakistan team. Let him get some time then. Again, I would say, whatever the circumstances are, give him some time. If he's not an interim coach, he's a head coach of Pakistan till the Champions Trophy, make it clear over here. But the biggest issue, what I feel, what we have done with the overseas coaches, it would be really tough for Pakistan to look into the market. If they want anyone to head coach Pakistan, it won't be easy. Who's the experienced head coach, won't be easy for him to join the Pakistan team, because what we had done previously with our head coaches. It's unfortunate. Whoever comes as a coach of Pakistan, whoever comes in the management, it's just that what we general public or the fans, what we need is that he just comes up and Pakistan just changes in one series. You need to give them time. It's not an easy topic over here. We are speaking about the T20 World Cup Champions Trophy is just 6 to 7 months away or 5 months away, and still we are sorting the issue of our batting order in the Pakistan team. We are still sorting the issues of our head coach. Who will be the head coach of Pakistan? Because whoever comes, he changes the whole environment, whole scenario of the Pakistan team. That does not need to be there. If he's the head coach, let him be the head coach. Just give him some time so you can at least get some results produced. If not, then you can say thank you so much.
Well, certainly. Amal, how would you analyze this new appointment now amongst many that keep on happening in the PCB, obviously for an interim basis?
I mean, can I choose to have no comments on this particular thing? Because of course this really frustrates me, the inconsistency that we have, the lack of decision making, and like taking some decision like these using the words interim, and then we're not sure that whether he would be our coach till Champions Trophy. If not, who will come? So these things, that there are times when this management just literally leaves me speechless, and I don't know how to react and what to analyze anymore. Because one day we are analyzing on certain decision, and the next day there is another decision that is taken, and we are just completely blown away. But yet again, if they have chosen him as a coach, just say that he's a complete permanent coach, and just let's go forward with him till Champions Trophy, so that we can have some consistency in this particular area.
Whole scenario as well, right?
Yeah.
I think that definitely defines it as well. But obviously, the fact is that we really need to, decide this interim setup. Like I said, it's unbelievable. Even the person appointed himself would be thinking that, what kind of strategies I can implement as well. How do I take this forward? It will be very important. Thank you very much, Saeed Mohammad Awais, K. Asif Ahmed and Amal Nadeem for joining us. Before we go, of course, we've got a very special birthday wish to send out to a very dear member of PTV World, and of course a very dear member of our cricketing fraternity as well when you talk about PTV World's team. Mr. Amir Dar has got his birthday today, so Amir, a very happy birthday to you. A very talented makeshift wicket keeper. He can bowl a bit as well. Obviously a batter himself as well, a very essential part of our cricket team. But a very happy birthday to you from all of us here at Sports Extra and PTV World in general, and we wish you some great years of success and good health coming your way as well. That of course wraps up Sports Extra from me and my entire team. It's goodbye for now.